Hello, hello. Hope you're doing okay today. Let me know if you can hear things all right, and we'll get started here right away. But yeah, excited to get back to finally creating some videos. It's been a busy month with all the fundraising. I just want to say a huge thanks to all those of you who gave to St. Jude. It was just really cool to see your generosity, and I think that's the coolest thing about this every year is just more and more people express how much more generous they are than even I think is possible, and it's just really cool to join together as I guess I could call this a community. I'm not sure if the group merits that, but yeah, it's just really neat to see your generosity. So thanks to all of those of you who gave. Excited to get back to some kind of coding here, and so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to transition over. Hi, officially. I just figured I'd grab an easy project this morning. It's been a pretty full month or so for me, and I don't have an energy for something huge, but I figured I could grab this because I hadn't done this yet, and it shouldn't take us too long, but said that before. So anyhow, like I typically do with these challenges, I have yet to look at it other than this landing page, so I'm assuming we have to build this out, but I haven't done anything besides that. I don't exactly know what's in the project. I'm assuming they give us images here, but maybe we have to create all this just from text and CSS and stuff like that. So, but my goal is just to start, and we'll walk through it, talk through it as we go. Yeah, if you have any questions or want to chat about anything, let me know. But other than that, let's go ahead and begin officially. So I've got the project open over here. You can see we've got all the assets we need. We've got a preview image, which I think is just this one right here. First thing to do is to figure out what we're supposed to do. So let's go ahead and look at the README template. I'm not sure what this is for. I guess README, probably. All right, so we're supposed to make it look like a Bento grid, as close to the design as possible. I don't have the Figma, so we're just going to do some guessing on sizes and stuff like that. Optimal layout for the interface. So I'm guessing there's a mobile design like this. All right, expected behavior, left column of the desktop replaced with the bottom on mobile. Okay, yeah, definitely using grid here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started because I'm assuming, let's see how, so we've got fonts, variable fonts if we want those. These are all, okay, well that'll be nice. Okay, so we do have some text, like we have to add that. This is, okay, so we've got some sections in here. We've got a little bit to do. An image with create post. Okay, I'm not gonna argue with this. Lots of little images. That'll work. Okay, so we've got some text we've got to do, but a lot of this is built out for us. Okay, well that'll be nice. I think let's not overcomplicate this. Let's just use the HTML file right here. What is going on over here? Oh, it's fine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with just adding a CSS file, and we'll go from there. So let's put this at the end here, link CSS, and we'll reference a style sheet over here called style.css. All right, and here we're going to do some basic things where I take the after and the before, and let's go ahead and set like box sizing to border box. And then I typically, just because I like to mostly use parents here, hey, welcome. I like to usually set padding and margin to 0. So let's make sure that this is actually working. I guess I need to get this thing live. Let's just use live server, which I haven't used in a while. It's definitely more of a beginner challenge, but hopefully it's enjoyable. Here we go. Okay, so we've got all that working. That should work for us. Let's come over here. Let's get rid of all this stuff. And, oh, not the body. Throw a main tag in here just for kicks, and we'll say like main. Oops. All right, it is working. Let's go ahead and add the fonts. For now, I'm not going to worry. I guess we could add the local fonts here. What do I have for my style guide? Let's just grab it from here. The DM Sans 4 and 500. I don't want to overcomplicate this. It's better to add fonts locally, but I've done videos on that before. Let's see, fonts.google.com, DM Sans. Let's take the 400 and the 500 and copy the HTML link. All right, DM Sans, let's come back over here. We'll say body font family. DM Sans, I think, like this. and then sans serif. Let's see what happens. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. What else do we need? Style guide. Let's see, we've got some colors. Let's grab these and pull them in. 18 is our body font. These two sizes. Ensure the responsive meets, okay. Full range of screen sizes, you got it. All right, so let's come back over here, open the CSS file, and I'm gonna add a little root declaration. And I'm just gonna move all these like this, and we'll jump up top. Let's see, let me get rid of this. Here, here, and we'll grab all this. Do double dash, we'll do like color dash, and then let's just name all these things yellow, yellow, white, black. So let's do like yellow muted, and then we'll do purple muted. All right, and then let's add these here. A lot of times I'll make these, let's see, what am I messing up here? Oh, they've got numbers in front of them. We'll fix that in a second. Like that, like that, and like that. Hey, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. All right, let me jump over here just to make sure I can actually see if anyone's commenting, because it was all the way over and I wasn't watching. All right, if you're just joining us, we're just working through this front-end mentor challenge and trying to be trying to set up the project essentially at this point. So it looks like I still have some kind of problems. All right. Color purple. All right, these need to be like this. All right, so now we've actually got that set. Let's set the background here to var color white. And just to make sure this is actually working, we're going to choose black. Okay, cool. All right, we got that set up. I guess the other thing was we had a body font. Come on. Font size of 18 pixels. Anything else I need to think about here? No, no. All right, 375 to 4, that's fine. Let's go ahead and set up, I like to use clamps. Utopia, FYI. Let's pull this in here. I like to use clamps for the spacing and typography just because it makes it a little easier to work with responsively. So let me grab, I don't know, let's grab this. It doesn't really matter. And let's just declare a couple things on this root. So we've got colors here. By setting up these variables, if you're not used to using CSS variables, we can now use them all throughout the site, and you can update them once or locally, and it will override that scope. So you get some really nice details like that, like abilities to flex. These clamps, what they'll do is they'll say this is the smallest it's allowed to get, this is the biggest it's allowed to get, and this is what it tries to be. And because this is a responsive size, because it has a view width attached to it, it will kind of get bigger and smaller as we go. So that's helpful for spacing. Let's do the same thing for typography. Usually I use something like open props for this, but if I'm not using open props, I usually jump over here because it's nice and easy to work with. Because they just give it to you, which is the same kind of thing that happens with open props. They just give it to you in variables that are kind of predefined. So let's set this as spacings. We're going to set this as like typo, and let's drop this in here. For these steps, I'm just going to do like font size, and then let's go ahead and just throw this font size on here of like var font size probably 1-ish. And this may not follow spec exactly, but this is typically what I would do, so that's what I'm going to do. You can see how we get smaller. The font gets smaller. If you get bigger, it gets bigger, but not massively so, because it's, you know, it's fairly closely aligned. Okay, so we got that set up. Let's kill that. Let's kill this. If you want to do this project yourself, by the way, I do have the link in the description. Hopefully I put the right link in there. But yeah, let's come over here now. And I think the only thing we have to do really is now just set up these bento grids. So the way we're going to set this up, let me actually open up. Let's just come over here and see what we got. Assets, images, design. Here we go. So the way we're going to set this up, because we've got two different places. So like this is up top on this one, or is it over here? It's in the top middle. So like we've got to move these around the little bento grid area. So the best thing to do is to use grid, and then you can define grid areas and change where things lie on depending on the grid area. So what we're going to do is, like, if I grab this right here, like this is going to be its own little grid area name, and this will be its own little grid area name. And then this whole container right here will be a grid area, and we'll space out where everything lies inside of that. So let's go ahead and come over here, and I'm going to, let's get rid of this, get rid of that. Okay. I'm going to come inside here, and we're just going to have a section. We'll have aria label. We'll call this like Bento grid, something like that. And then inside here is where we'll have all those sections. So let's just define them kind of one at a time. And what I'm going to do is try to give myself a little more space, and then we'll insert these images where we need to put them. All right, so right inside here, we're going to have, let's have, again, I'm just going to label these right now. So I'll give these classes, and that will help us kind of define where they are. So we'll say div, and this will be like quicker, I guess. Let's see, schedule. I'm just trying to see what's unique about them. So that I'm starting top left and working my way over. So we'll go middle next, and this is obviously looking at desktop for now. We'll do like AI or something like that. No, that's writing content, social media. So we'll do social. All right, nope, there's another schedule, social. It's gonna be hard to name these things. We'll do like timing for that top one, top right. All right, now moving to the bottom, we'll do content. And we got two sections here, obviously. So we're gonna have, let's see, multiple for multiple accounts. Again, you'd probably wanna name these things something more helpful, but we'll say like growth for that bottom one below it, this one right here. Next one, making consistent scheduling posts. We'll say like consistency, something like that. And the bottom one will finally be followers or something. Are those all unique? I think so. Okay, cool. So let's grab all these right here. We should probably give this a class too. We'll call this Bento. All right, so I'm going to come over here, and we're going to make some declarations. So we'll have our Bento right here. And this is going to be display grid and grid template areas. And what we'll do is use this to set up where everything's going to lie in a second. So for right now, I'm going to kill that. And I'm just going to drop all these things in here. Obviously, this is not how you write CSS, but we can grab what we need from here now. Come on. This. All right. So now we've got all these sections set up and ready to go. So now what we need to do is just position where they're at. But what I first want to do, I guess, is grab all of these like this. And I need to give these a name so that I can position them in the grid. Now, there are other ways to do this, but especially with something like this where you have all these like visible pieces of content, it's a lot easier just to name them, and then you can move them around as you need to. So we're going to call this grid area, and then I'll just name it whatever it happens to be. Area, that's aria. All right, there we go. Okay, so now we can come over here and drop the stuff in here as we need. So right now, let's just drop the images we need in here, and we'll go from there. How does that sound? All right, so these are all, let's see if I can just figure out what they're named as we go. So let's try that. So we're gonna say image, and I'm gonna come up now to my assets, images, see create post. I'm guessing that's that. Let's see, there we go. I guess I'm gonna leave, and now let's add the ARIA label. So it's important to have these for screen readers, and I'll show you what they'll do in a second. So right now, if I were to come over here, command function F5, and turn this on, you're gonna hear this, I think, but you'll definitely see if I can get this thing to move over. If my computer can handle this, maybe. All right, here we go. All right, so you can see how if I come inside here, all right, I don't know how much you can hear, but you can probably see all that. All right, so here I am. Oops. I was trying to select that image. I forget how to do this. Control Option Shift down. There we go. Control Option Shift down. Okay. So you see how it says Bento grid empty region. The reason it knows it's a Bento grid is because we added this ARIA label. So I can go further into this. And basically what this will do is give me this readable, it's hard to talk over this thing. Let me kill this. But that's what we're trying to do, is basically enable the screen reader. I thought I killed it. Command. There we go. So you can do that with command function F5 on a Mac. There's also something called, I think it's called Navigator or something like that on Windows. But now what we've done is basically added a label to this whole section so it knows it's a bento grid, and then we're going to add, oh, it didn't know what to call this. That's the whole point of what I was showing you. So it didn't call this anything but image. However, if we say like, I don't know, we could say like picture of a button being clicked with a mouse cursor, button says create post or something like that. Now it actually has this as a indicator of what it looks like visually, which is important. All right, down here to image. I'm guessing this is like stars or something. So let's come into assets. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy this right here so we can add this in multiple places and very quickly do the rest of these. So let's drop this in here, drop this in here, here, and here. All right. So right here, we're going to look at images, which is also what I should have added. So now let me go and do that real fast. So we're going to grab this like that, add images. Okay, now over here, we're going to look at stars, 5 stars. So we can add that. And they're all kind of being stacked right now, right there. So it's because they have this grid area name. So what maybe we should do in a second here is I'm going to pull up the mobile design, and that way we can start to place them where they should be. And that way they start to kind of like align where they should be. So right now you can see they're kind of stacked all in one. Obviously, that's what we'd want it to do. So for this grid template areas, what we're going to do is define exactly what should be where. And I'm going to name them according to these names right here. So for instance, I would come up here and social media. Now I got to remember what I named all these things, but I think this was something like social. So the social one should be up top. Oops. And eventually we're going to have this one down here. So let's do the bottom one here. I think we called that content maybe. So we're going to say content down this way. All right, next we've got, and things are going to be out of place till I get all these in the right place. That's just kind of how it goes. Multiple looks like the next one, I think. Then we've got schedule possibly. Okay, so you see how it's like trying to figure out where to place these things. Now, it doesn't know how many columns to do because I haven't finished with all of these, so it's kind of guessing right now. Again, once we get them all laid out, this would help. All right, coming here next, we're going to call this, I think it was followers maybe. Yep. Then we've got growth potentially. So we'll say growth here. And now it's starting to kind of readjust, guessing on what we're doing, but we're going to tell it so it doesn't have to guess. Let's see, schedule, content quicker. Schedule maybe? No, I already have that. Trying to remember how I set this stuff up. Let's open this thing up. Schedule content quicker. Where is this? Oh, it's my first one. Okay. So whatever my first one's named is schedule. So this is schedule here. And this one must be like faster or something. Consistency, no. Followers, no. Social maybe. Okay, it is social. I already set that up. Okay. Then multiple, then schedule. All right, this must not be schedule. It must be timing maybe. Again, it's hard when you don't name these things, super helpful, but yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I missing? Social, timing, content, multiple. Did those. Growth. Did that. Consistency. All right, where's my consistency? Faster growth, non-stop content. Chris. Consistent schedule is my third one down. Okay, so let's set this one here. Consistent, maybe. All right, hopefully did that right. But now it's placed all these in their respective locations. The easiest way to check actually is just to come inside here. And I can select this right here and let's add network application security lighthouse. What am I looking at? Layout down here. I should be able to come in here and add these grid lines. Okay, so it doesn't really know what to do with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I wonder if I need to actually just declare that there's only one grid column. which I shouldn't have to do, so I must have messed something up, but anyhow. All right, there we go. So now we're going to place these things in their individual items. Hopefully that makes sense what we're doing. And I know this seems kind of confusing. It's mostly just because I didn't know what to name these things. I should have probably just done like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and been done with it instead of trying to name them something semantic. But I figured it might be easier when we get to the later steps. All right, next step, I guess we need to reopen the desktop probably, because that's how I had these things laid out originally, just so I can remember what they're supposed to be. All right, so now we're at the top right, and this should probably be some kind of schedule posts, maybe. Yep, that looks about right. Okay, now we're at the bottom left, multiple, and that looks like some kind of like AI content growth, multiple platforms maybe. No, that's multiple accounts. So this is content maybe. I don't know what this would be. Let's check. Grow followers, create post, consistent schedule. I'm just gonna have to open this up. I don't know what this is. First try. All right, AI content. How about that? So this one we know is gonna be in here. So let's go ahead and just add that here. We're gonna call this one. This was AI content. All right, so you can see how it's just placing these things where they should go according to the mobile versions. All right, next is growth. Grow followers, audience growth. I think it's this one right here. We'll figure it out if that's not right, but I think that's right. Now consistent schedule, and finally grow followers. All right, I think we got all our stuff in there. It only took some time. And now we've laid these things out, and notice, assuming I did this correctly, I guess we should have stars at the top here, so I must have mixed those up, so we'll switch that in a second. Actually, let's just do it now. I'm thinking about it. So multiple goes up top, maybe. We'll figure this out because I obviously named something wrong here, but we're laying these out now, and what I can do is on desktop, I can just rearrange what this grid looks like, which is what we're going to try to do. All right, let's go ahead and at least make the images better. So we're going to come in here. And typically, I like to just set images as display block on a little project like this, and max width 100%. And that way they're not breaking out over the screen. Okay, so this thing is an issue. Somehow we've messed this thing up. Okay, so that's good to know. It's nice when you can actually see what's going on, because then you can fix it. All right, let's see, where are we at? So let's come back to this and move this over to the side and make sure we've named all these things correctly. So back to naming things. Schedule is right here versus schedule being the third thing down. So let's make sure we're just going to take our time and figure this out. So consistent social schedule. So schedule should be up here. Is that right? This is the thing it doesn't like. So let's make sure we've named this thing properly. Grid area schedule. This has a schedule class. Why is this thing not moving to the right spot? Multiple should be my stars. Let's just check that's the case. Nope, that's timing. So we're gonna make timing go up top here. All right, so now timing's at the top, good. It's hard without these things actually having their full content. Next is multiple platforms. Let's come back over here. Where would that have been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the fifth one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, multiple. All right, that's good. Next is, let's see, where are we at? This schedule post, this thing right here. So it's the third one down, it should be timing, which I don't have at all, which is the problem. Nope, I have it up top. Man, I'm messing this up like mad. Okay, here we go. There we go. Layered those in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, where is this? Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be my 7th one down, which is consistency. Okay, consistency. All right, we finally figured it out. And that one goes there. Okay. All right, now let's actually build these things out. They all have pretty much equal padding. So the other thing I probably could do is come in here and add on all of these. Another class that we can use for all of them, because they're going to have some consistency, mostly around the color, or the padding, not around the color. So let's go ahead and say something like grid item, or how about bento item. We'll come back over here, and bento item. We'll do padding of like var space small. Add some padding around those, maybe medium. They're all going to also have consistent border radius as well. So probably what I would do is come up here and add another variable like border radius. Obviously in this case, we don't have anything we need this to say or like use anywhere else, but on a normal site you would. Exactly what that border radius is, I don't know. Let's call it something like, we'll just say rounded medium. I would guess it's something like maybe 8 pixels. So let's add that. And then I'll come to the bento item and do border radius. We'll do var rounded medium. Just to make sure we can see stuff, let's do a background color here of our yellow. That's fine. All right, so you can see they now have border radiuses there too. Probably also should have some padding around the body so we can actually see what's going on. So let's say var space large. All right, so now we can see what's going on there. We also need a gap between everything. So let's go ahead and add a gap here. And that way, no matter if it's like vertical or horizontal, it'll have spacing. Strings consistent. Oh, thank you. Sorry, Roberto. I saw you too late. So we'll say var space. Let's do small. See what that looks like. Medium. I don't know. Something like that. So now they're all spaced out. It's probably a little too big here. Let's make it the same. All right, so now they're spaced out and the way they're supposed to be. Let's just make sure we got these things in the right order. Stars should be up here, which I'm not going to be able to see because they're yellow. So let's change this to something like purple something. Purple muted. So my stars are down here. That's a problem because they're supposed to be up top. So somehow I still messed that up. Let's move this here. So those are there. Next is the social handles, which I don't even have. So we're doing great. Let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiple is next. Multiple. Why is that not coming in? Social growth. All right, let's just copy and paste this. Make sure we've got this properly set up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Multiple. We'll figure it out. Anyhow, we're spacing these out the way they should be. Let's start with the top, now that we've actually got stuff where it's supposed to be, and go from there. All right, now I can come in here and we can grab timing first of all. And I'm just gonna set the background color here to the right color. So we'll say var purple. And I'm gonna get rid of this for everything else. All right, now we've got a couple things to set in there. Social media 10 times faster with AI, and then this bottom section. So what I'm going to do is set this up with 2 little grid sections. My default is going to be to have all these be grids. So I think I'm just going to do grid, display grid here. I think that makes sense for all these, and we can position them a little differently as we need to. Yeah, that should work. And then we'll have spacing between these. I feel like these should have pretty consistent spacing, but I guess they don't always. Yeah, the spacing is kind of different on all these, but let's set this. I'm going to do something like small. Again, I don't have the Figma, so that means I can do whatever I want, which is nice. Let's come inside here. We'll have a little H2 on here. This will say something like social media. Actually, let me just OCR this thing. Come on. If I can remember my shortcut, I've got this thing that OCRs it, so I don't have to type stuff out. 10 times faster with AI. Doesn't even go there. This goes in our timing right here. All right, next we've got down here over 4,000 5-star reviews. We're just going to add this here. All right, that should work. Let's come over here, grab this text align of center. And we're also going to change the color here to white. That should work for both of those. We do have this little section right here. Where are we at? Faster, 10 times faster. So I'm going to add a span here, and we'll do text yellow. And then I'm going to come over here and make some, let's see. Let's make some like utility classes for text. So let's grab all of our text colors. Well, I guess we have any other sections that have, yeah, we have a purple one and a yellow one. So let's just do those two. So let's come in here. We're going to do text purple. And we'll also do text yellow in a second. But right now, let's just take our var, color. We'll set this to var purple. That. Then I'll go ahead and copy this down, and we're going to do the same thing and grab these both with Command D and change that to yellow. So text yellow like that. Let's make sure we've named it the same. So this is text yellow. All right, there we go. Other thing I might do here, let's go ahead and set. We'll just set the H2s for now because that's all I have. To text balance. Come on. Of wrap, text, wrap, balance. It's like command. It's like the cursor thing. I always mess that one up. All right, so now we've got these images here. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we should also put this stuff in the middle. We might need to change this on some places, but I think if we do place items, items center, like that, that should work. Oh, I'm using align place items center. Yeah, that's right. All right, then we might just need to. This image is taking up its full width. Why is that happening? Justify items center. Oh, it's because I'm putting this in quotation marks. Goodness. No? What is going on here? Let's do a line. Justify. Come on. Justify content center. Items center. Why is that image not doing what I want it to do? Place items center. I don't know. What if I said this is supposed to be width 100? Okay, there we go. So it always takes up the full width it needs. Okay, so that just must be way bigger there. All right, that's fine. We can fix that. So let's come down here. I'm gonna grab my image inside of here. We'll say like, actually, why don't I just set the width? Because I think it's the same on either. Let's check. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and set the width here. We'll say 5 stars. And then we'll set a width, like 200, 400, something. And I think I did warn you up top. My brain's not really working today. Max width. Okay. So if I come over here, there we go. Something like that. All right, as a grid child, I wonder why this is like not working the way I want it to work. So let's come in here, margin, image, margin, inline, auto. I don't know. All right, anyhow, we got it eventually. Let's make this smaller again. Something like that. That looks okay. Maybe we can come in here and do extra small. All right, we got our first one done. Next one, manage multiple accounts. Somehow I already have that in the wrong place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It should be multiple. It says it is. Seems dubious. Doesn't seem right. Schedule is all the way at the bottom. Why do I have it here? All right, that's the problem. All right, multiple accounts is the next one. Where's that thing even at? I think I just have the wrong image. Goodness. Okay, let's come down here. Multiple I have scheduled posts for. Nice. All right, let's do multiple. Goodness. Multiple platforms. Okay. Details. All right, so we got this thing here. We now need to make sure that this thing has proper spacing around it. Where's my multiple? Right down here. So you should have my same padding of medium. Maybe. Doesn't seem to. Let's set the background color here to my var of white. Let's change this to like yellow, just to make sure. Oh, weird. The image is like being cut off. What am I doing wrong here? What do I normally do for this? Is this like width 100%? Why is that? Is the image itself just that bad? Let's check. Multiple platforms. Yeah, it just, they killed it. Why you gotta be like that? So I can't even get the proper stuff on it. Oh, whatever. All right, well, that's not my fault. All right, here we are. We're gonna do white, which means that background should probably be something else, but let's change this to white. Yeah, let's set the background of the body to whatever this happens to be. It doesn't really give me that, so color background. We're gonna have be this. I'll switch this over to HSL using a little shortcut I got, like that. All right, whatever. So let's set the background of the body to my background. Oh, you can see that stuff pop. All right, that should work. Now I just have to add the text. So let's come inside here. Let's say like social media handles for Twitter and Instagram, which I guess you're not supposed to click on. Instagram. We'll have an H2 here. This will say maintain a consistent posting schedule. All right, so obviously these are now the same size, so we need to do some typography work as well. I wonder if this is using local fonts on my machine, because I haven't declared that. Let's come over here and say like font weight 500. Yeah. That seems about the right size. This one just needs to be smaller. So I'm going to grab multiple here, grab my H2s, say font size, var, font size like 0 or something, 2, 1. All right, I'm also going to come over here to my H1 and set like a line height. Line height of 1.1. That seems about right. Maintain consistent posting schedule. It looks like they're like wrapping that weirdly. Maybe I should set this to like pretty instead. Sure, whatever. That'll work. Oh, and I even typed the wrong thing. Way to go. Let's grab this. And let's see. This is gonna go right here. And let's grab this. Maintain a consistent schedule. Goes somewhere important. Right down here. Actually, it goes on top of this, but whatever. All right, so that should work-ish. All right, got those set. Next one, maintain a consistent posting schedule. Let's do the same thing. So I'm going to come over here and steal this at least, like this. We're going to come in here, just change this up to yellow, and we're done, almost. kind of. All right, so this right here, because we've got some oddities here where this padding is, there's a couple ways we can handle this. Probably the easiest is just going to be to remove the padding on the bottom here. So let's say padding and bottom. You could also say like block end, I guess, if you want to use logical properties, and we could just say 0. That gets rid of that. The image also, how does this look on desktop? It's dead center in the middle. So we could say, grab the image here and just say width of like 200 pixels. I don't know, 250. Something like that. Again, this is just for mobile. I like text wrap balance here. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so at least it wraps kind of at the same time. That'll work, something like that. Yeah. And then what we want to do is just increase the size here. So let's come inside here. Where are we at? And nice thing with these nested queries is you can do like max width screen, max width screen, and I never remember how this syntax goes. Max width, like 768 pixels. Actually, it's probably min width. And then we're going to set the width to 100%, I think. So let's get this thing bigger and see if it changes. So yeah, I get here and it pops up. And that's a scoped style to right here, which is cool. All right, I think that one's done. Let's do the next one, schedule social media. Aside from naming, it's not a super difficult project, but hopefully this is helpful to kind of see kind of how I do this. And I'm sure if I did this tomorrow, I'd do it a little bit differently. Let's see, schedule. Do I even have that image in there? No, I do not. Let's see, where was this at? It was my third. 1, 2, timing. 5 stars. What? I killed myself with this stuff. 1, 2, 3. This is the one I'm interested in, right? Yep. Okay. So that should be my third one over here. Let's check. Section 1, section 2, section 3, timing. Somehow I've messed this entire thing up because I already have this in here as something else entirely. So let's grab this. Let's move this to what it should be the social one, which I did not have an image for. Now we're going to come over here and change this. Okay, so this one should say schedule to social media. Man, did I ever mess this up. Then we're going to have time something. Content growth. What does this one give me? I'll change around where that's at. It'll be fine. That's not right. What is this image? Follower growth, multiple platforms, schedule post, the last one. Okay. All right, now we should be set to go. We just have to change around the names of this. So timing, and I switched this out for social, which should be my second one. So let's come back over here and let's put social here where it should be. No, here where it should be. All right, so let's come inside here and change around this. I'm going to grab all this and drop it into social like this. And now that should be correct. Let's get rid of this for now. Come back over here. Man, did I make a mess of that. All right, let's move this down. Good, 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 good. All right, now we're in timing. Let's come over here, comment this out. Man, I made that work. Purple muted. Let's see, social media. Don't need the color white. I probably should change that color to my black anyhow, because I think it's just picking up straight up black, which happens to be, I think, just black. I think that was my actual color. But in case we ever changed that. Now we've got the variable set up properly. That should be set to go. Schedule social media. Let's also grab this right here, this text. schedule social media. Let's drop this in right here. Naming things. Goodness. All right. That's right. That all looks good. Yeah. Let's come inside here and set Bento item. We'll set the paragraphs of text like wrap is pretty, so we don't have any orphans and stuff as we get bigger. It's not going to leave a single word down there, which is what we not want. All right, follower growth. That is next, and we might even have the right thing in the right place. Let's see. Let's go down here, and I'm going to grab this, do the same thing. I'm going to set this to purple. Growth. Followers. This naming. Just kill me now. All right, there we go. That border radius definitely does not look enough. So let's bump this bad boy up to like 16. Sure. All right, follower growth. I'm also going to steal my image thing I did right here. Pop this on here. It's like 350, 300, something like that. And obviously we'll make it bigger with this text here. We should also probably come in here to the Bento items and just say that the width is 100%. So it always takes up what it needs. Something like that should work. Let's also come in here, place items center. That should work as well because it's a grid. Okay, so down here to followers right here. I'll say like, I'll fix these in a second with something, but let's see, let's go ahead and grab this right here. We'll say there's an H2, it has that. And let's see, this looks slightly bigger, maybe. I don't know. We'll take the color here, change this around to my white. Text. Let's see, place item center. Margin inline. Auto. Wait, no, it'd be justify self center. Oh, I think it's because it's wrapping. This is also, oh, I thought I already had that on that. I guess not. Okay, well, that's all I need to do. Nothing like overcomplicating things. That should all be good. Let's see, let's come back up here. I think I need to increase this gap just slightly. Let's make this small. Sure. All right, next, audience growth. Let's see. So I've got these things switched. There we go. 56% faster audience growth. So let's come over here. We've got both these things here. We're going to have faster audience growth. And we're going to have 56%. Percent. Greater than 56%. This one should probably be the H2. So we'll figure that out in a second. I'm just going to give this like a class here of like large. All right, growth. So we're going to have my H2, font size 0 probably. Actually, can I just like inherit from the body? Because that's essentially what I want it to do. And then font weight, we'll do 400, which is what the body should be too. Just to make sure, I should probably throw that on the body because I don't think I have that here anywhere. Yeah. Probably should make those font weights even variables. I typically just, I mean, everything is kind of variables as you can see, typically. I'm hard coding some of these things, but even these, you can now create custom variables using custom media queries, which are nice. I gotta hurry up here. Followers. Font width, okay. We've also got large. Font size of our font size, like, I don't know, 3 or something like that. Font weight. Here we're going to go 500 as well. Pop this up a little bit more. Sure. All right, last thing here, this needs a color as well, and we're gonna steal this one, throw it on right there. And I'd say that looks pretty good. Content and schedule content quicker, or creating content schedule. What am I doing? Creating content schedule quicker. Let me grab this and jump over to create post, which I think was the first thing. Picture of a button. Yep, that's the one. So let's have an H2 here. We're going to add that, and then quicker here, we're going to add inside of a span with a text purple declaration. That's good to go. We just need to add the muted yellow there. That should be my first one right here. So let me grab this, steal it, and we'll say yellow muted. Okay. Should be just one left then. So let's go ahead and grab this, I guess, content. We want this to be yellow. Using or write your content using AI. Steal this. Where are we at? Content right here. That should work. I've not been super consistent on typography for these things. Like that should kind of be the same size. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. So let's see what I did. Let's look at some of my H2s. So H2s, I just started randomly changing these, which is always good. Let's maybe set these all to FS2, the ones I change. It looks like that's actually the default. So let's get rid of this. And what we're going to do is come into the Bento item. We're going to say that these should all be H2s with one exception. So, which is this right here, I guess 2 exceptions, and then the social media one. So let's get rid of this too. FS2, do I need this? No, not anymore. Let's see. So first one is social right here. So this one's the only one where I actually need a separate declaration. So we're gonna make this like 3 or 4. All right, so let's just make sure we got this thing working properly. There. More or less. This should be left aligned. Just the bottom, that's a weird design. Why is this central too? I don't like that at all. These should all be left aligned or not. But like, I guess this one could be centered, but then these are centered. I don't know, it just feels like it feels weird. Social media, well, I guess this one is central. That's what it's supposed to be. All right, well. Let's come to, what's the 5th one down? Followers. And let's change the image here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Growth. So let's change the image here. Let's do 200. See what that does. Yeah, that seems better. Okay. Create schedule post. Kind of need to do the same thing here. These images, I don't know. Yeah, I guess let's change that. Schedule, same thing here. Content using AI. Okay, I think that's fine. What was the last one called? Content. I mean, that's taking up the full width it needs. I think I'm going to leave that alone. I still feel like that Bento item H2 isn't quite big enough. So maybe this should be H3. So now those look too big. I don't know. This is smaller than that. Those are smaller. I don't know. I don't think it super matters. That's close enough. Okay. Let's come over here to desktop. last thing to do is just to switch around where these things are. So we're going to place these now on this grid, and we need to think through kind of how the grid columns need to be. So let's think through this. We've got obviously like, this is the first column. We've got a second column right here. We've got a third column right here. We've got a fourth column right here. Now some of these are obviously going to span multiples. So first thing we need to do is set up the grids. So let's come over here. And what we're going to do is add our media query declaration, but directly here, like this. And inside here, we're going to say when it gets above 768 or whatever we want this to be, now I need to change how many grid template columns I have. So grid template columns, this will be repeat. Oh man, how does this syntax go? Is it like 4, 1FR, or 1FR4? I don't remember. Let's see. So if I move here, okay, yeah, so it is working. So we've now got 4 sections. And just to see that, one of the things that's really nice, again, is to use this layout where we can set this like here. See how we've got this grid now. So now we know where stuff needs to span and sit and all that kind of stuff. Container queries aren't super helpful here because you're then spacing the size. You could space the size of the children based on their container queries, but yeah, I don't think that's going to be super helpful here in this case because we're not really changing the children, we're just changing where they sit. So I don't think container queries would be helpful here. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you're thinking with that. All right, so now what we need to do is just position these things properly, but I guess we also need to set up some grid template rows. So let's think through this. So we got one row here. Now this one's a little tricky. We've got a second row here, weirdly enough, because this one needs to span down here. So this one's really small. Then we've got a third row here, basically, right? And these will span too. And then we've got a fourth row here. So kind of weird. How exactly these are set, like we're probably going to use fractional units. Here I probably use like a pixel value, honestly. Here, probably another fractional unit. So I'd probably do something like 1, 1.3, 2, and then like 50 pixels or something. So let's grid template rows. Here we're going to do like 2FR, 50 pixels, 1FR, and 1.2 FR. And so you see what it's trying to do is set these things out. So it's kind of going to mess up until we get these things in the right position. But we should actually have, this is a fixed amount here. It's spacing out additional items, which is why we got some oddities. And then so we should have 4 rows total. Okay, cool. Now all I have to do is place these things in the proper spots. So what we can do, come over here, and we're going to say grid template areas. Now, if you use, let's see, let's go ahead and come out here to like the biggest one. And that way we can stay consistent the rest of the way. This. All right. So now we just need to place these things where they should be going. So this one right here is called content. So we're going to say content goes up here. Maybe what we should do is just set out the grid first. Let's do that. So I know I have 4 columns like this, right? And I have 4 rows. Is that right? Yeah, 4 columns and 4 rows. So what I can do is come over here. Content goes here. Content also goes here, right? Because it spans from here to here. All right, next, let's do this next section, which is you're writing content using AI, which who knows what that is. Since I can't. Okay, it should be my last thing. Okay, so the last thing was content, which is what I just thought I was doing. So where's this other social one? All right, second to last, which is schedule. Okay, so this one should be schedule. This one should be content. So hopefully this makes sense what we're doing. We're just aligning these things on the grid items, the areas where they belong. Now this next one should take up 2 columns and it should take up 1 row, right? This would be faster media with AI, which is social. So 2 columns, so social and social should take that up. Finally, over this way, this one's going to take up 1 column and 1, 2, 3 rows. So this is social media, which I'm just going to look over here now as 1, 2, 3, 4. So timing. So timing should take up 1 column and 3 rows. So we're going to take up these rows right here. And ideally, you're going to space these things out like this. And that way everything is kind of aligned to a grid and easier to see. So let's also move this here. And I'm going to move these as well, which I should have done before, so I didn't have to or undo all the stuff I just did. But I'll put this right here. All right. Hopefully this makes sense. I'm going to just make it easier to see what's going on. Okay, so now all we have to do is position the other items. All right, so next we got this middle section. This should take up 1 column and 2 rows right here in the middle. And this is manage multiple accounts, which I'm guessing is multiple. Let's just double check. Yep. Okay, so this one should be right here and right here. And now I got to realign all this, which I will stop doing, but I just wanted to kind of show what we were doing. This faster audience growth should just be this one section. So I think this is just growth. Let's check. Third from the bottom. Yep. Next is this one, the purple guy, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 followers. This takes up 2 columns and 1 row. Followers like this. All my spacing for not like that. All right, cool. Last thing is where to put these things here. This is maintain a consistent posting schedule. So I think the only thing I don't have, it's my third one down, is consistency, which is not supposed to be a meta discussion about my personality or something. All right, only thing I don't have is consistency. All right, so now if I save it and we did everything correctly, maybe, sort of, we probably also need to set some like boundaries, but generally, or like spots where these things should be. These things should, we did not do something correctly. Maybe it's just because I have this thing full height. Let's make sure we have the things positioned correctly. Have that there, have that there. This should be spanning too. It's definitely not doing that. Is that right? Content is next. Right, your content using AI. Oh man. All right. We're so close. Content quicker. Let's just double check. Quicker content. Okay, so that should be correct. All right, let's figure out what we're doing wrong. So is it these values here that are the issue? Or because I set these things to be positioned middle? I think maybe that's the issue. So let's come in here and place item center. Let's get rid of this. Okay. There we go. Okay, so stuff is actually where it's supposed to be now. Obviously it's a little big for what we want. These are obviously stretching a ton. So maybe I would do something like these are all taking up massive amounts of room. So let's come over here and say like this should be like max height of 100 view height. And that squashes some of that down. It's kind of messing up some of our other stuff. So we have to change around some of this. Like this typography is wrong now. So I'd have to come in here for the desktop and change this typography. But now at least we're kind of getting into the right spot. Let's set this grid to be slightly smaller too. All right, so stuff should be correct there. If we come back over here, we go small. Stuff's good there. So really it's just down to typography and making sure that these actually fit properly. All right, it's the little things, right? So I wonder why that is taking up so much space. Let's come in here. Why is this taking up? Is it just these images basically, I think. So let's start by changing the images. So if I come over here to follower growth, let's set the max width here of like 500 pixels. Actually, let's just cap it and see what happens. Oops. Okay. Not bad. All right, so obviously a little bit more to do. Let's do like 280. And also now we're going to take the media query. Sure, that'll work. And here we're going to say this is display flex. And that should work. Gap of our medium. Size, oh, come on, space. Medium-ish. So that should set those next to each other. We should also take the H2 and say text align left. Oh, there's just a lot of like little dinky things like this left, so I don't know if I feel like doing all this right now. Setup here. This should work. We need overflow hidden on all these, so we should probably do that as well. So let's come to the Bento items. We're going to do overflow hidden. That should work there. It helps a little bit as well. This right here, let's see what this is supposed to look like. So that could probably be a little bit bigger. Space between maybe. I wonder why this is. Oh, I never actually set it to that, did I? Oh, I did. It's like taking it more than that. All right, let's come inside here and see what else we have. Why is this taking up so much space? So let's set this to like 1.5 then. What if I just set this to 1? Yeah, let's do that. All right, so let's do like a small fractional unit so it doesn't take up. No, it's gonna need at least, I guess, enough to actually have its content. What if I just do 1 and split them evenly like that? Something like that? All right, that's pretty close. Come back over here. So these should all be left aligned on social media one. On this social media one. This also needs to be off screen. So there's just a bunch of little tiny things left like this. This is italic as well, so I didn't notice that. HTML. Where's this at? Let's make this quicker. Grid template rows for the rows. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like I did for the columns here, but here you can't repeat them because I want them to be different. Does that make sense? If they were the same, like the columns, you could repeat them, but I want them actually different, so. All right, I think those are good there. Faster, I guess I didn't do that either. I don't know, at this point, if it were me, I'd stop watching, but you can watch if you want to. I'm just gonna, might as well just finish this off. More or less faster there. What other italicized words did I miss? Write your content, is that italicized? No. Those are all good, those are all good, okay. I guess let's make sure I got this right on mobile, officially. All right, let me make sure this all looks right. That looks pretty much good. 4,000 5-star reviews, multiple accounts. Again, I don't have the typography on some of this, so I'm kind of guessing. That's just wrapping, that's why it looks weird here. But it is supposed to be center aligned, you can see that. Same thing there, that looks good. As they said, like 375 is the number or something like that. Created content quicker. Okay, so that all looks good to me. All right, so now let's get back to the big screen. And let's just get all these things working. So this right here, we're gonna make sure is center aligned. Because they're not all, like this one isn't. Yeah, I feel like some of this is design issues. Like it could have been spaced a little bit better so that you're not always having to change stuff around here. Let's see, social, schedule. Sounds like a guy who's frustrated at a designer. Justify, align, items, center here. Align, content center is actually what I want. So I push that to the center there. All right, we're going to call that one good. We're going to call that one amazing. Actually, the stars aren't quite right. Yeah, it should be here, right? Something more like that. I feel so much better about that now. This text looks too big. Let's come up to my body. Do I have a font size? I do. Guess let's put that down a little bit. Cool. All right, that looks so amazing. Schedule is the next one. So the difference here, this also means center aligned. So let's find the schedule. Align content center. Why is it not aligning at center? Maybe this is the issue. No. It's a good idea though. What if I set this to like 100 and get rid of this? Just to make sure I'm actually working with this properly. 50. Okay, that's the wrong thing. Turns out. Schedule, social, timing. Okay, here we go. Let's do align content center. Like that. All right, now with this image, I need this to kind of be too big and overflowed. So let's say that on desktop, so we have media. Let me just steal this right here. Here I want the image. Actually, I want the whole thing. I want padding. Let's just take the image and do margin, inline, end. Do like negative. Just move it over. Oops. Okay, so it is moved over properly. Let's set the width to something like 760 pixels and see what happens. No? All right, there we go. That's not gonna help me. All right. Again, I'm kind of hard coding some of this, but it's a weird. Okay, so that should work as far as the size. All right, I kind of need to pull it out of the flow, I think, somehow. How would I do this? Since I'm doing it. I guess I could just put it in a parent and then do something on the parent. Because you can't really use position absolute. It's messing up the flow of the other items to move it off. But I need to somehow pull it out of the flow of the document. Because if I do something like that, obviously it pulls it out completely. I guess I could set up its own little grid section here. And how would I do this? They're all left aligned. Okay. So instead of align content center, justify items, start. I just do this, move that over. That should work. No, that's going to move that up. That's aligning. Justify content. I guess that doesn't super matter. All right, I think this should work. Let's do like... I'm just trying to figure out how to get this image bigger without messing up everything else. Any ideas? Like, there's got to be something obvious I'm not thinking about. Translate X? Yeah. I guess. The hard thing, though, is I'm increasing the size of everything by changing this image. Right? And I need the image to be bigger because I need it to be cut off. Let's try it. Transform. Translate X. Oops, wrong way. Let's just see what happens if I do this. So, then what if I do like a scale? Will that? Okay, something happened there. So I can actually make it bigger, but then it's like not in the right place. And see, the thing about translating it is now it's actually pulling it right where really I want it to be left aligned. This should not be this tricky. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not thinking the right thing for whatever reason. Like, I mean, I could set like a max width on that, but on the text. But even here, I want it to be left aligned. I don't know. That for some reason I'm not thinking of a solution there. Well, I think for now it's probably best to leave it like that. I'm sure usually what happens is like on stream I feel like I'm 4 times slower than I am in real life. And then in real life I just fix everything in like 5 minutes when I finish the stream. I'm like, oh duh, that's what I should have done. So hopefully that happens, but you never know. Sometimes it doesn't. Let me comment all this out. Just in case somebody wants to come in here later and fix it. All right, I'm not gonna waste any more time though, because this isn't super important. This is also overflowed. Are you kidding me? Well, that one's a little easier. See, this one seems right. Just probably justify. Yeah. So let's come over here. Content. I'll say media. I'll say justify. Align. Item space between. What am I thinking? Line content. Space between. Seems a little weird. I should probably have some kind of max height on this, but because I think I took that off, right? Yeah. It doesn't really change anything, but all right, I think I'm pretty much done. This is now getting cut off. So I probably need to change the image size there for the last thing. So I guess let's do that real quick. So we'll say image. Maybe I could just make this, oops. Sure. All right, let's do manage multiple accounts. So again, we're going to say that the image here, max width of like 400 pixels, something. It also overflows there. What my brain, I think what I need to do is this needs to be inside of a grid item. The grid item is in the grid. Okay, this is not difficult. All right. Max width, 300 pixels. It's just a structure thing. Okay. We figured it out. Well, careful. We don't know anything yet. So we're going to come into social, let's see, timing and multiple. So I think what we need to do is if we look at timing, this needs to be the grid child right inside here. And we're going to say like, we'll call this wrapper or something, or image wrapper. What was the other one? Multiple. Wrapper. Okay. So then what we're going to do is set the wrapper overflow. Nope. Max width of its own container. That should be right. Okay, so that's working there. Okay, that should work. Now I just need to kill the padding here, maybe add it here, or now do that negative margin. Okay, so image wrapper. Let's add one more. Image wrapper. I think that was the problem. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so now it is working properly. I just need to make sure I have this like negative margin thing going on. So I could probably do that here, I guess. No. Margin inline end. Negative. What is this padding? Where's my padding? Right here. So in order to make this negative, you can calc it. Calc, like this, times -1. That should move that over. No? Margin inline end. Alright, let's copy this just in case I'm wrong. Just nothing's happening here, huh? Oh, it's because I have this overflow hidden. I don't really need that. Yeah, if I just get rid of that. Yeah, okay. Okay. So it's a structural thing. I'm not sure why that took so much time to think through. I don't know. Sometimes you think of solutions right away, and sometimes super stupid ones, you're like, how did I not get that? And yet, I still didn't get it right because look at this. It's overflowing. So I do need something. I do need it like that. I think what I need is extra padding, right? All right, here's what I think we need. We need extra padding here. No? Man, am I... There we go. I need extra padding to add back in the padding I've removed. Okay, we made it work. Do I need this anymore? Oh, maybe I do. Margin right. I need extra padding. Yeah, this needs to go down here. We're just gonna put this all only on the biggest. And then this needs to be, this should be the same here. I think, but for whatever reason it's not working, so let's do like something like that. Okay. All right. I'm assuming there's some max width to this, so let's go ahead and set that too. I don't know, I'm literally just wasting everyone's time now. I got stuff to do today too. Let's say like max width of like, I don't know, 900 pixels. It's probably way too small. I would think something like that. Thanks, Apple. Thanks for this bento grid. I really appreciate this. This design style pretty much comes from them. At least that's my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm not a designer. All right. Last thing. It's important to like set up ARIA labels on all this stuff. So what I would probably tend to do is, honestly, what I would do, here's what I would do. Let me jump over here. It's using raycast like AI, no wait, alt, descriptive text. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. All right, I'm gonna close this sidebar. Nope. For images. Give me descriptive text for images. And then what I would do is drag these in like, no, stop being dumb. I will give you images, send along, respond with an alt text for each image. All right, so I dropped this in, failed to attach. It's probably because I'm using VS Code. And yeah, I would drag this in and it would tell me the image and I'd drop it in there like that. So I guess I could take an image like this just to show what I would do. This is using Raycast AI, which I found to be really helpful. Here. And then it will respond with whatever this is supposed to say. All right, so now I can grab this and in whatever one this is, the last one here. Let's see, picture, 5 stars. I think it's this one right here. I would drop this in here, basically. There we go. So it's actually giving you a really descriptive one. I don't have to type this out. I think I actually set that up once with like a CLI command where I think I have a little CLI thing now that I think about it. All right. Hopefully that was entertaining. Helpful at least. Like there's always, you get like most of the way there and then there's these little stupid things that you're just like, what is going on? Hopefully that was helpful to you. I think we mostly got it there. I'll throw this up somewhere on GitHub. You're welcome to check it out. Tell me what I could have done different better. And I will check you. I'll see you in the next video. All right. Thanks so much.